In this video, we're running DocProtect on a 64-bit Linux computer to wrap various kinds of files into an executable. We can apply a licensing process to that executable so that when distributed to a customer's computer, it requires unique activation to that machine. For this example, we have set up a record of information within DocProtect. If we look at the record selector, you can see we have various records of information for different kinds of applications we're constructing. So here we have the name of our record of information, and the type is going to be an HTML offline project where we have selected a source folder that contains the files used to build our application with HTML technologies. Let's take a look at this folder for a moment. Within the Documents folder, we have this exam folder, and there we have our main HTML file with a bunch of other nested files and folders that are used to construct this application. So we've selected our source folder, we've selected our main HTML file, we've given a name to our application, and we've selected an output folder where we're going to generate the finished executable. And for this particular project, we've decided to give the viewing window a fixed size. So we've given the pixel 900 width and 600 height to our finished application window. So we're going to click the Build button, and it's now going through the process of compiling this information into our executable. The process is now complete. So we can click the arrow to the right of the Build button, and it will actually take us to the output folder. And in that folder, we see our exam folder, and there is our finished application. So let's go ahead and launch the application as if we were on the customer computer. So when we double click the application, it will launch into a viewing window. Now, we didn't apply any kind of licensing to this application so that it can be freely used on any computer. So our application is now running, and we can see that this HTML file and the images and cascading style sheets and JavaScript and everything that was used to construct it are kind of running as if it was a standalone application within this exam window. And the user can go through and make selections and so on with this application. Now let's look at an HTML online example. For this project, we've took the same folder of files and we've actually uploaded them to a hidden location on a website. And then we can reference the main HTML file from our main file field. We've given a name to our application. In this case, we're going to call it Exam Online. And we've also fixed the size of the display window and selected the output folder where we want to generate our application to. And again, for this example, we're not going to apply any kind of licensing quite yet. So we're going to click the Build button and wait till the build process completes. And when it does, you get a dialog like that. And then you're going to, let's go navigate to our output folder and look at our finished application. So here's the application that we just built. And if we launch the application, it again is going to open up a viewing window, and it's going to look essentially the same as our previous example that we demonstrated. But in this case, all the content is actually coming from the hidden location on the internet. And so the application itself is going to be much smaller. You can also update the files as needed without requiring the user to re-download the application. And again, the application works just like a kind of a standard application built with HTML technologies. Before looking at some of the other types of applications you can create with DocProtect, let me give you a little bit of background information. DocProtect comes from Excel software. If you go to excelsoftware.com/DocProtect Linux, you'll be able to get to the main page and you can read about all the different capabilities of DocProtect. You can also click a link here to the free Build App Image tool and download that to your computer. And we're going to show you what you can do with that in just a moment here. If we go to the Build App Image screen, we've already downloaded it and ran it, and we fill in some information about our application here. And what we're going to do is we're going to essentially wrap that folder with our executable and all of its support folders into a single app image file. And we do that by just filling in this information and clicking the build button. And there's a separate video on the Excel software site for the free build app image tool. We've already done that. Now we're just going to look at the end result here. We see this single app image file can be uploaded to your website, and now anyone with a 64-bit Linux computer is going to be able to just download that file to their computer, right-click, show properties, and set the execute checkbox, and now they can just launch that single file, which can sit on anywhere on their computer and is going to present your application. So there's no real install process or anything, and not a lot of individual files to download. Basically, they download one file, set execute, and now your application is up and running on pretty much any 64-bit Linux distribution. So we're back in DocProtect, and we're going to show how we can wrap a video into our executable. So we're going to select video offline for this record, and we have a path to a source folder that holds our video, and then a path to the video file itself. And a lot of different video formats are supported, MP4 and others. We put a name for our application we're going to create, a path to the output folder, and we're going to assign a pixel width and height to our viewing window. When we click the build button, we're now wrapping that video into our executable, and we'll get a message when it's complete. And now we're going to open up our output folder, and in our output folder we'll see the folder holding our generated application. Let's go ahead and launch that now. And when we launch the application, it presents a window, and at the bottom of the window are controls for playing the video and changing volume and such. We have a headphone on this computer right now, so you won't hear it immediately, but I'll move the headphone closer to the mic as we start playing. So first, if I click play, you can see the video begins to play and you see a progress indicator. I can click again to stop the video. Now I'll let you listen to the video as it's playing. And you can see I can adjust the volume, mute it or not. So that's basically how the video is playing within our window. Now I'm going to close this application, and we're going to select the hover controls option. That's a slight variation of how, well, let's actually just go and select a different record where we've already set this up. And we actually have two different changes here. We're going to put the video online, so we've uploaded that same video file to a hidden location online, selected video online, and we've selected hover controls, and adjusted the size of our window a bit and made it resizable. So you'll just see all these different variations occur when we go ahead and build the application. Once the application is built, we'll get a completion message again, and now we have a new folder called Online Bunny in our output, and there it is. Let's go ahead and play this variation of the video application. For this variation, the video immediately begins to playing, and whenever you have the cursor over the window, you'll see the controls at the bottom, and you have the ability to stop and restart and adjust the position of the video and the volume as well. You can also maximize the screen if you want with this option. Now let's create an audio application. So we've named our record Audio Online, selected the Audio Online type, a path to an audio file that we put somewhere on the internet, and we have the name of our application here and a path to the output folder. So I'm going to click the build button. We're going to give it a moment and it'll build the application. And we'll see the completion dialog, and then we're going to go to the output folder, and there is our offline or audio online right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and run the application, and it brings up a little control window where we can see it begins to run. I'll move the headset a little closer to the microphone so you can hear it playing. You can stop it and start it again. Change the volume. Okay, so that's basically our audio application. Now let's go back and try a little variation of this where we'll go to a different record we already have set up. We'll call that one, that one's called Audio Offline with Contents. And here we have, it's an offline audio application. So we have a folder of some audio files. And we've also named the application in the output folder here. But rather than just pointing at one particular file, we've actually used this contents panel to select a bunch of different audio files and gave each one a title. And so when we build our application, we're actually going to have a little contents view where we can jump to each of these different audio files to play it. We've also added one other enhancement to this application, and that is we've clicked the splash screen and we've selected an image and set up the size and the type of splash screen we want, and maybe added some text and a URL link and some other stuff on our splash screen, some colors. And now if we go ahead and build this application, it'll take a bit longer because we're building an application now that has all these audio files embedded within it. So it's going to take a little longer to build, a little bit bigger. Okay, here it is. And now let's go and find that in our output folder. And so this will be the audio offline one here. Let's go ahead and run the application, and then again I'll move the headset a bit closer to the mic. So first you're going to see the splash screen, and you can, in this case we actually have a continue button that takes you on into the application, or you could have it just momentarily present some type of an image with text and potential links. That link would take you to a page in the default browser. We'll just click continue here now, and we'll see our contents view, and we can go ahead and start playing any one of these. So I'm going to move the headset now closer to the mic so you can hear it play.
87 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived
Turn it up a bit.
dedicated to the proposition that all men are created.
If I quit this application, or close that window, I should say, it returns back to the contents panel, and we can go ahead and play one of these other audio files. Or I can just go ahead and quit the application altogether. So now we're going to build an online PDF application. So we've have a record, we've named the record, selected the type, have a path to our PDF out there on the internet somewhere. We've given a name to our application, an output folder, and we're going to make the viewing window resizable. When we click build, it's now building our application, and then we're going to get a completion message in a moment. And now if we locate our output folder, we see this is the application we just generated, generate app name, or Android app there. And then let's go ahead and launch the application, and it should present our PDF file. In a moment, we'll be seeing our PDF file in the window. And there's the file, and we can scroll through the file, and we have a few controls for zooming in and zooming out and other things, and resizing the window. So let's go ahead and close this application window there. And now let's look at a different PDF example. In this case, we're going to look at an online PDF example again, but in this case we're going to use a contents panel where we have several titles and several different PDF files, and that way they'll all be displayed within a contents view. Yeah, we have no splash screen assigned to this. So let's go ahead and build our application now. And once this is built, we'll be able to launch. We'll see a contents panel where we can navigate back and forth into the different PDF files. So if we go to our output folder, and there is our online PDF contents, that's what we call the application. So let's go ahead and launch the application now. This time, rather than going into a specific PDF, it's presenting this contents view with these different titles. So if we select one of these, let's see how to generate an Android application with DocProtect running on a Mac or Windows computer. And it shows in a moment here. There's the PDF that kind of takes you through the process. And we can read that and resize the window and everything like before. If we close that window, it'll return us back to the contents panel, and we can click on some other PDF that we want to view within this application, and we can scroll through that one as well. When we're done with everything, we'll go back to the contents panel there and just click quit to close down our application. Now let's build a slideshow from a set of images. So we have this record named Small Slides, and we selected the slideshow offline. And we have a folder of images. It'll generate into this application name, into this output folder, and we fixed the viewing size of the window. So for our source folder here, we just have a bunch of JPEG files of the same size, and we've named those. So we have an index, a dash, and a title. And now with that format, all we need to do is click the build button, and that's going to generate our slideshow executable. And once that's complete, let's go to our output folder, and there's our slideshow application. We'll launch it, and it's now playing here. We can see that we have some arrows to navigate. We can see we're on slide 1 of 5, and also the position we're here. So you can click the arrows to the right or to the left. You can see the indication of where you are changing here, and also down here at the bottom. In fact, you can also click directly to a spot there in the slideshow. So far, we've shown how you can wrap various types of files into an executable with DocProtect, but another very important aspect of it is you can apply licensing to license your application to a specific computer. And if we select the license panel, you'll see there's several different options here. Some options are possible using just DocProtect alone. And in other cases, you'll need to use DocProtect in conjunction with companion tools. So let's start with a simple option here where we have a simple offline activation process applied to our generated executable. And to do that, we're just going to select simple and we're going to click the build button. And now it's building our application, and it's going to require a unique password to be activated to a specific machine. So if we go to our output folder and we locate our slideshow application here, now this time when we launch, we're going to be presented with a dialog where the user has to enter a password unique to this machine for the specific application. It shows a password number, and we're going to put that into our DocProtect over here on our development computer. So let's type in that password number, click the password button, and this is the password that you will be given to the user, and they'll enter that. And when the user clicks OK, your application, oh, I entered the wrong number. So that's what they'll get when they enter the wrong number. Let's try this again. So we're going to launch the application. And we're going to 109. Oh, I see the problem here. It's 162. Okay, so here's the password that's going to be given to the user, 212-433-121, and the user clicks OK. And now the application has been successfully activated to the customer's computer, and they'll be able to use it. And from now on, for the life of this application, they'll be able to launch and it will begin running. There are many other licensing options available within DocProtect. For example, you can link to an online activation server, and that allows you to provide a serial number at the moment of purchase to the customer, and then 24/7 they can launch your application, enter the serial number, and instantly activate. And that serial number can control how many unique computers they can activate your application on. For example, the easiest way to do that is if you go to the excelsoftware.com site, and under Solutions, if you look at the Safe Activation Service, it gives information about how you can get your own Safe Activation account to set up different products, batches of serial numbers, and determine how many unique computers can be activated with each of those serial numbers. You can also automate the purchase and delivery process, so the user can enter a credit card to make a purchase, receive a serial number in an email message, and now they can download and activate your application 24/7. There are other options as well. For example, you could choose to have a self-hosted activation server with desktop license server running on your own Linux or Windows website. These options in the middle, the QL single, try-by, and try-by subscription, these work with the more powerful quick license desktop licensing tool, where you can configure all different types of licenses like time-limited trial licenses, perpetual product licenses, try-by licenses where they can try for a while and then click a button, go to your website, purchase the serial number, and then permanently activate the application, or subscription licenses where the user pays monthly or annual to use your software. So with any of these options, you'll then go to the ticket panel and fill in a reference to a ticket file that you created with the quick license application that defines these more advanced license types. And finally, there's another product called Make Dongle, and you can select this checkbox here. And what that allows you to do is link your application to a specific dongle, USB dongle, and you can use the Make Dongle application, again from Excel software. And with Make Dongle, you'll be able to generate dongles from empty USB drives, and then your application will only run if the dongle is present. And there's some information on the Make Dongle application.